This is a CBS News update. I'm Mary Calvi. So the sizzling summer weather, it continues today with highs in the 90s. It's going to feel even hotter. We spot a lot of people already hitting the beach to get relief from this extreme heat. Shopper 2 was over Sandy Hook a short time ago, and plenty of beachgoers were already hitting the water. We can understand why, and with the crowded beaches come water dangers. Lifeguards in Seagirt say over the weekend they responded to about 100 rescues. This one was even caught on camera. Let's get to John Elliott with what we can expect on the shore and in the city. What's going on out there, John?
More of the same. In fact, you talk about what it feels like, Mary. So let's just do a little math right now. The 11 o'clock observation out of the park is sunny and 89 with light and steamy and variable winds at 3. But 89 actually feels like 96. So we already have heat index values at 99 in Edison, 98 in Belmar, and the Hamptons 85. Look at Greenwich, the real feel is 75. You are really in better shape south-facing beaches of Long Island and along the Sound there because of that wind. Yesterday in Toms River, it hit 100. So there's not a lot of relief for the Jersey Shore. But, boy, just having the access to that water to safely go in, get cool, and head on out. Don't forget, though, excessive heat advisories and warnings for almost everybody with those real feel numbers. Even in the city, 100 to 105. North and west could see heat index values at 110. And then everybody dealing with this compromised air. It's an area high pressure, so it caps off the atmosphere. So you have to limit time outside if you have any kind of respiratory issues. Remember, there's a big difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat stroke, that's a throbbing headache. You can't, there's no sweating. There's kind of memory issues. I mean, you need to call 911 if you suspect heat stroke. Cramps, you can help with getting into air conditioning and forcing a lot of water. Cars can heat up within 2 minutes. So that's very dangerous. Got to have the AC on. And when you initially get in the car, roll the windows down, evacuate that air because everything in there has been baking. Then put the AC on. Lightweight, weight, and light-colored clothing is a good idea. And then something easy to digest. And, again, you don't want to stress your stomach with a big, heavy meal. And obviously, don't forget cell phone in the sun. You can bake your cell phone. I mean, I know we think that's kind of silly to think of, but, boy, you need to stay in touch. So cell phone, make sure you're ready for that. Ready for more of the same tomorrow with some storms in the afternoon. Could see around Wednesday afternoon. But, Mary, we could hang on to 90 degrees all week long. Back to you.
Wow, what a stretch of heat. All right, John, thanks so much. Now to a developing story. A warning for boaters to be careful for a humpback whale off the coast of New Jersey. The Coast Guard got warnings about a whale being tangled up off Raritan Bay over the weekend. They couldn't find it when they went searching. Now they're asking boaters to keep an eye out for that whale. If they see it, just stay about 100 yards away from it or more. Now to a fatal fire in the Flatland section of Brooklyn. It broke out early this morning in a private home on East 49th Street. 67-year-old Esther G. was found unconscious on the second floor. She was rushed to Beth Israel Hospital for treatment of smoke inhalation, but pronounced dead later. No other injuries reported. The cause of the fire under investigation. Happening today, it is back to court for 7 of the 8 alleged gang members charged in the murder of 15-year-old Junior Guzman Feliz. Junior's face now towers above his old neighborhood. 2 memorials honoring the teen have seen a steady stream of visitors for days. Junior's parents say they're grateful for all of the support.
I'm feeling good because I see all these people present to here and support me. And I appreciate to everybody to be here. I want justice for him, you know. That's what here. That's what everybody here because they want justice for Junior.
Special prayer service was held last night at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church in Belmont. The 15-year-old died on June 20th after being stabbed outside of a Belmont bodega in what police say was a case of mistaken identity. The sidewalk outside the bodega is now covered with candles and flowers. The city is preparing new measures to address potential lead poisoning in children. The plans were announced Sunday, partially in response to a federal report on the city's public housing system. CBS2's Janelle Burrell has more.
The new statistics have parents concerned and outraged.
And they tell you what they want to tell you.
More than 800 children living in NYPD housing under the age of 6 tested positive for elevated levels of lead between 2012 and 2016, far more than first believed. According to the city, the 820 children had lead levels between 5 and 9 micrograms per deciliter, which is the level that the Federal Center for Disease Control recommends that cities intervene. But none of the children's apartments were inspected because New York City does not require home visits unless the child tests over 10 micrograms.
They try to hush it up. They just try to bypass things, try to get over on people.
The new numbers come amid a firestorm of accusations against NYPD of mismanagement and negligence. Probes by the city's Department of Investigation and federal prosecutors found that between 2012 and 2016, the city was not testing for lead paint, as they claimed.
Everybody should go and have their children tested to make sure. Look around your apartment.
Community leaders are now urging parents to be proactive. As for the mayor, when CBS2 tried to ask him about the new figures Sunday,
Mayor, can we ask you about lead paint? Can we ask you about lead paint in the NYPD building?
He ignored our question, his spokesperson referring us to a statement which says in part, lead poisoning is down almost 90% since 2005, but that's not good enough. We've already made our testing protocols more strict for kids in public housing, and we are now extending that standard to the entire city. It's our job to always push the envelope when it comes to our kids' health.
Janelle Burrell, CBS2 News.
New video shows an armed man roughing up a Queens parking garage attendant before stealing an SUV. It happened Saturday afternoon at a garage on Queens Boulevard in Rego Park. Police say the suspect first asked the attendant to give him a car. After he said no, the suspect pulled out a gun, chased the 59-year-old attendant, and pistol whipped him. The thief then found a 4-door Kia with the keys inside and drove off. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has signed the new budget into law. Murphy and state lawmakers spent Sunday in Trenton finalizing the $37.4 billion agreement. It raises taxes on people making $5 million a year and above from nearly 9% to 10.75%. It also raises taxes on companies making more than $1 million a year by an average of 2% over 4 years. There is no increase in the sales tax. Now to a rare look inside an NYPD unit that handles everything from hostage situations to rescues and presidential details. The elite emergency service unit only has 500 members, and only 10 are women. There's only one female counter-sniper in the NYPD. CBS's Nora O'Donnell met her and tagged along on a training mission.
From 100 yards away, Detective Tina Guerrero fires her Remington 700 M24 rifle, consistently hitting her targets.
And how good of a shot are you?
I would say I'm pretty good.
I've heard you say the ESU is like a big boys playground and you wanted to play in it.
Yeah, the challenge of just being able to go out there and do all the things that all these guys were doing was something that I wanted to do. I did feel that I had to prove myself, as other women do and other men do too.
The men and women of the emergency service unit endure rigorous training to respond to everything from search and rescues to hazmat situations and terrorist attacks.
When I tried out for the team, I was very intimidated, but I said, go out there and do the best you can, and I did. And I remember getting a phone call from one of the other guys that I work with, and he said, listen, for what it's worth, you did well.
Nice.
You did well.
Well enough to trade in her undercover work in the Vice Squad for scuba gear and a 50-pound vest. As a member of ESU, Detective Guerrero has to prepare for any scenario, including suicidal jumpers. We joined the team on a training exercise.
Here we go.
Where we climbed nearly 280 feet to the top of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Hold from here, and you can clip in.
The team looks out for each other as we climb the nearly 6,000-foot suspension bridge.
Every time we move, we use these carabiners, and essentially we're harnessing ourselves so that we're always safe. This is like no sweat off your back to do this.
No, actually, I enjoyed every minute of it. It's a great view up here.
Detective Guerrero's husband is also in the ESU, though the duo rarely work together.
David.
The mother of 3 works overnights to spend more time with their children.
You've got 3 kids, and you put your life on the line.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you do it?
I do it because I just love being out there. I try not to think about, you know, the dangers of it. There's not a night goes by that the guys I work with, I know that they're looking out for me, as I do the same for them.
Were there some men in the unit who said, I don't think this woman can do it?
Yeah, I believe when I first came into the unit that I proved a few people wrong.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
They're retired now, though.
They're retired?
Yeah, they're retired now.
And she's still working hard. It's the end of an era on the Upper East Side. The bakery known for its iconic black and white cookie is now closed for good. After more than 116 years in business, Glazer's Bake Shop sold its last dessert Sunday. Fans lined up to get their favorite treats, savoring old New York in every last bite.
I just wanted to, you know, feel it and see what it was about. Even though it's not like I'm not seeing it in its heyday, but it's just nice to, you know, feel this little part of New York history.
Even the baking pans were up for grabs. The owners signed a few of them for their loyal customers as keepsakes. And that's your CBS 2 News update. I'm Mary Calvi. We'll see you for CBS 2 News at noon and live on Facebook in just a moment.